Senator from Georgia.
Madam President, as chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee of the United States Senate, and on the eve of Memorial Day, I think it's appropriate that we pause for a moment. We debate as Democrats and Republicans today on the floor of the Senate currency, trade, national security, fast track, the issues of the day in a contentious debate. We do so freely. We do so without fear of retribution. We do so when we go home tonight, we're at peace and comfort, knowing we're in a safe nation. And we are because of the men and women who've worn the uniform, sacrificed, and gave their life so America could exist today. So I think it's only appropriate that each of us on the Senate floor take a moment to pause and give a prayer for our soldiers who risked their lives and gave their lives for our country. For me, as chairman of the Veterans Committee, I'm making an effort to go to the American cemeteries all over the world to make sure we're still taking care of them and honoring those who've sacrificed in the way they should be honored. And I want to share with the Senate a brief story to point out how important Memorial Day really is. On Memorial Day in May of 2007, I went with Senator Burr and other members of the Senate to the American Cemetery in Margraten in the Netherlands, where over 8,000 Americans are buried who fought in the Battle of the Bulge to root the Nazis out of Germany and liberate the Jews from the concentration camps. They were successful, but they died. I walked down the rows of crosses and stars of David, looking at each name, ostensibly looking for Georgians to say a brief prayer for them. But I came to the end of row H, toward the back of the cemetery, last cross on that cemetery, and it said the following: Roy C. Irwin, New Jersey, died December 28, 1944. A tear welled up in my eye because that's the day I was born. 70 years ago, December 28, 1944, when I was born, 70 years later, I've existed as a free person in a free society, elected to a United States Senate, served in the military myself, raised a family, have 9 grandchildren, have had all the joys that everybody in the Senate has had, all because of people like Roy C. Irwin, who on the day I was born, died on the battlefields of the Battle of the Bulge in the Netherlands, fighting for democracy, freedom, and the liberation of Europe and saving the Jewish people. So no matter what we debate and how contentious it gets, we must remember what Memorial Day is all about. It's about those that have made the ultimate sacrifice for you and I to engage in this debate and to move our country forward. And one other point. We should say a special prayer for the parents of those young Americans who fought and died in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and the current wars today. We had a tragedy with the fall of Fallujah. We had a tragedy with the fall of Ramadi. We need those parents to know their sons and daughters did not die in vain. They died for a cause that ultimately will prevail because we as senators will see to it that America does what America always does. That is liberate the oppressed of the world and only ask for one thing when we leave. And that's a couple acres to bury our dead who sacrificed for democracy, freedom, and liberty. So on this Memorial Day, as chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, I thank God for the American soldiers who fought and died for our country, and thank God for the United States of America. And I yield back my time.